Hello, everyone. In this lesson, we are working on a TOEFL writing task called Write an Email. Before we move on to the question, this short introduction will help you understand what is expected and how to approach the task. You will practice writing clearly, politely, and effectively in a real-life situation, which will prepare you for the writing section. If you're finding this lesson helpful, be sure to subscribe to my TOEFL for more clear and friendly explanations to help you succeed. You will read some information and use the information to write an email. You will have 7 minutes to write the email. You are a member of the university's archaeology club, which is planning a guest lecture. Okay, so this first sentence sets the scene for us. It tells us our role. We are a member of the university's archaeology club. This is important because it establishes our identity as a student involved in a specific group. The sentence also tells us what we're doing. The club is planning a guest lecture. This is the main activity and the reason we will be writing the email. So, we know we are a student, part of a club, organizing an academic event. You need to ask your department head for permission to use a specific lecture hall for the event. This sentence gives us our main task. First, we know who we are writing to, the department head. This is a person with authority, so our email needs to be formal and respectful. Our main goal is to ask for permission. This tells us the purpose of the email is to make a request, not to demand something. And what are we asking for? Permission to use a specific lecture hall for the event we read about earlier. So, we must be clear and polite in our request. Write an email to the head of the archaeology department. In your email, do the following. This part gives us our direct instructions. It confirms we are writing to the head of the archaeology department, reinforcing that our tone must be formal and professional. The phrase, do the following, is a big signal that there will be a list of required points we absolutely must include in our email to get a good score. Express your excitement about the upcoming club event. For this first requirement, you must express your excitement. This means you can't just state facts. You need to add some positive feeling about the upcoming club event. Using words like, we are very excited about, or we are thrilled to announce, will satisfy this requirement. From a scoring perspective, this shows you can use appropriate social conventions and make your email sound natural and engaging, not like a robot just making a request. Describe the event and the lecture hall needed. Here, you need to provide specific information. First, you must describe the event. This doesn't have to be a long description, but you should mention what it is. For example, that it's a guest lecture and maybe who the speaker is. Second, you need to describe the lecture hall needed. This means you should mention which hall you want and, importantly, why you need it, perhaps because you expect a lot of people. For a high score, providing clear and relevant details is essential. It shows you fully understand the task and can communicate effectively. Ask for permission to use the hall. This is the most direct and important part of your email. You have to ask for permission. It is crucial that you phrase this as a polite question, not a demand. For example, instead of saying, "We want to use the hall," you should use more formal and indirect language like, "Would it be possible for us to use the hall?" Or, "We were hoping to request permission to use the hall." The way you formulate this request is a key factor in your score, as it demonstrates your control over language and your understanding of formal register. Write as much as you can and in complete sentences. Your response. dept.head@archaeology.university.edu. The to field tells us the recipient's email address. Notice the address is dept.head. This confirms that you are writing to a figure of authority, the head of the department. This is a strong clue that your email must be formal, polite, and well-structured. You should use respectful language throughout the email because of who the recipient is. Lecture hall request for club event. The subject line is very important because it's the first thing the recipient sees. This subject, lecture hall request for club event, is perfect. It is clear, concise, and professional. Lecture hall request immediately states the email's purpose. Club event gives the context. A good subject line like this shows you understand professional communication. All right, now it's time to start writing. We'll begin with a polite greeting, addressing the department head by name. In the very first sentence, we need to introduce ourselves and clearly state the reason for our email, making sure to include that feeling of excitement the prompt asked for. Let's get started. Dear Professor Thompson, I am writing to you on behalf of the university's Archaeology Club with great enthusiasm for a special event we are planning for next month. We are incredibly excited to be hosting a guest lecture by the renowned Dr. Alistair Finch on recent developments in Near Eastern archaeology. We start our email with Dear Professor Thompson, which is a standard, formal greeting perfect for a department head. Then we introduce ourselves and our purpose. I am writing to you on behalf of the university's Archaeology Club. This tells the professor who we are right away. Next, we address the first requirement by saying, with great enthusiasm for a special event we are planning for next month. This phrase directly expresses excitement. We continue to build on this and describe the event by saying, we are incredibly excited to be hosting a guest lecture by the renowned Dr. Alistair Finch on recent developments in Near Eastern archaeology. This gives specific details about the event and uses another strong word, incredibly, to show enthusiasm. Now, let's move on to the body of the email. In this paragraph, our goal is to provide the necessary details about why we need a specific lecture hall, which directly addresses the second task requirement. Given Dr. Finch's reputation, we are anticipating a significant turnout from students and faculty across various departments, which necessitates a larger venue than our usual meeting room. We start by providing a strong reason. Given Dr. Finch's reputation, this phrase connects the fame of the speaker to our next point. Because he is well known, we are anticipating a significant turnout from students and faculty across various departments, which explains why we expect a large audience. The logical conclusion is, which necessitates a larger venue than our usual meeting room. This clearly explains the problem and justifies our need for a bigger space. Therefore, we were hoping to secure the main departmental lecture hall, Morgan Hall, room 101, for the evening of April 12th, as its capacity and audio-visual equipment would be ideal. We begin with a transition word, therefore, showing that this sentence is a result of the previous one. Then we make our specific request politely. We were hoping to secure the main departmental lecture hall, Morgan Hall, room 101. Notice the use of we're hoping, which is much more polite than we want. We also provide all necessary details, including the specific date, for the evening of April 12th. Finally, we give another reason why this hall is perfect, stating that as its capacity and audio-visual equipment would be ideal. This fully addresses the task of describing the needed hall. Great. Now we will write the final paragraph. Here, we need to formally ask for permission, express our gratitude, and close the email in a professional way. Would it be possible for our club to formally request the use of Morgan Hall for this occasion? This sentence is our direct, polite request. We start with, would it be possible, which is a classic, formal way to ask for something. Then we state exactly what we are asking for our club to formally request the use of Morgan Hall. We are very clear about the action and the location. We end the question simply with, for this occasion? This is a perfect way to phrase the third required item, asking for permission. We would be very grateful for your approval and support in making this event a success. This sentence adds another layer of politeness. By saying, we would be very grateful for your approval and support, we are thanking the department head in advance and showing respect for their authority. We then connect their help to a positive outcome in making this event a success. This shows that we are all working towards the same goal of a successful university event. Thank you for your time and consideration. This is a standard and essential closing line for a formal email. Thank you for your time and consideration. It shows that you respect that the professor is busy and you appreciate them taking the time to read and think about your request. Sincerely. We use a professional closing here. Sincerely is a perfect choice for an email to a professor or department head. It is formal, respectful, and standard in academic and professional writing. And finally, you sign off with your name. The placeholder is where you would type your own name to complete the email. Excellent work. You've successfully analyzed and constructed a high-scoring email. By following these steps of being polite, clear, and including all the required information, you'll be well prepared for the TOEFL writing section.